Well, welcome, everybody. Uh, we're glad to have you with us this afternoon. I'm Don Snow. I'm in Provo, Utah, and today is the 17th of April of 2024. And this is our Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group weekday meeting. We call it the Family History Update class. And today we're talking about screenshot freeware. Now, I'm in Provo, Utah, and our host is Gerhard Roof. He's the president of our UV Tag organization. He's in Orem, Utah, and I don't know what we'd do without him. Today, we want to discuss what you can do with screenshots, which are taking pictures of what you see on your computer screen, like a snapshot, which you can always do with your camera. You can always just point it at your screen and take a picture of it. You don't get a very good picture that way, but that's one way to do it. Now, there are a lot of notes that I've written on this. We'll show those in a minute. The link to where those notes are stored on my website is there at the bottom of the screen. UVTAGG, that's Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group.org, and then classes/dons, and then dons-classes.html. Now, on the screenshot stuff, there is screenshot information that's built in to Windows, which is pretty primitive though. And there are freeware and other sorts of things, and some that you can pay for that are quite expensive. Let me click here and show you the next screen here, slide that will tell you the stuff that we're going to be discussing today. And then I'll show you where the notes are so that you can see those here in just a minute. We're going to be looking at computer displays because you may want to display either large text or smaller text or whatever of the piece that you want to get a picture of. So the first thing to do is get that set on your screen correctly. We'll talk about the built-in screenshot apps. Apps is just short for applications or programs. And there are some built-in things in Windows. We're only discussing Windows here. We're not discussing Macs. And then we'll look at some screenshot freeware apps that are in addition to what's built in. And there are some that are really good that are free and some that you have to pay for. We can even do scrolling windows. And I've discovered that in family search and family history, many of the screenshots that I want are on more than one screen. And so a scrolling window will do a several page picture of it. And we'll show programs that will do that for you. And then labeling your screenshots once you've got it so that you can find it later and so that you can tell what's in the screenshot itself. Now let's take a look at the class notes. There's the link again. That's the same link that was on that first slide. And I'll show you these in a minute. We'll go directly to the internet and we'll show you what the notes look like. And that's the link to them. On those notes are all the links, all the notes for my past classes, as well as the links. They're on there. They're hot links so that you can actually click on them. They're active links. Click on them. And you'll also see on there where to watch the videos. This is being recorded and it will be posted on our UV Tag YouTube channel afterwards, as well as on Facebook for a little while, but on our YouTube channel after that. Now, let me see if I can shift gears here with an Alt Tab, and let's see, Alt Tab, and go to my notes. Okay, now let's see. Now this is that's the notes, but I want to get back one level first. Am I on? And my eyesight is so poor these days. I don't think that's my no, I don't think that's my browser. Let's see, Alt Tab. Where's the Alt Tab? Where's the dang tab key? There it is. Uh, let's see.
Two more tabs, Don.
Uh, I'm holding down the wrong key. Alt Tab. Is that Gosh, I can't see the dang. Is that the
One
one?
more. Oh, you too far.
Okay. Go
Go
back and that one.
there.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, this is the link that we just talked about. This shows you the information on my class notes page. There's a few pages up here at the top of information. Then there's links as to where these things are stored. And then there's classes coming up. And then there's past classes down here, the ones we've already had. And the notes are on there. Now, the one we're dealing with today is classes coming up. That's the very first one here. Maybe I'll roll the mouse wheel. Oh, here's an illustration. Hold down the control key and roll the mouse wheel, and that makes it a little bit bigger or smaller. I'm rolling the mouse key forward and it's making it bigger. If I roll it backwards, it's making it smaller. And so that's one of the things that you might want to do to make sure that all your stuff is on the page before you do the screenshot. Okay, there's today's date, 2024, 014, April 17th today. And there's the link on that. If you just click on that, it'll take you right to this page, which is the screenshot freeware notes. Now, on the notes here, let's go through the notes to show you exactly what's here so you'll know you don't have to take careful notes of this with a pencil and paper or something. If there's something that you really like, note the number because these are all numbered down the side on the left on there, and then just come back and look at it later. There's my information about my email and so on. And if you're watching this 6 months from now and you got a question or something, feel free to write me and I'll be glad to try and answer the question for you. A couple of information items on there. Item 4 is what we're dealing with today. The problem for today is how to make screenshots of what you see on your computer screen. Now, first of all, there's displays on your computer screen. And one of them is the mouse wheel, holding down the control key and either rolling the mouse wheel, or it usually works if you're hitting the plus or the minus key. Hold down the control key plus or minus, and that usually does the same sort of thing. There's something equivalent on Macs, but I don't know what that is. But you can get the information on there as to what you want before you're ready to make the screenshot. Now, here's information about screenshots. Because information changes so much on the web, somebody estimated that a fourth of all web pages change every year. Either they change or are deleted. And so if you see something on the web that you might want to keep, like a source for a document or information, make a screenshot of it so that you have a picture of it that you can save for yourself. And so, because it's such an important item, people are writing lots of different freeware pieces of or programs to do it. But figure out what you want, and then be sure that you get the information saved, and then you got to label it so that you can find it later on. Now, you may only want a little piece of the whole screen rather than the whole screen. Maybe you want to copy a picture of, maybe there's a photograph that you like or something of this nature, and you want just a copy of that. There are ways to do that. Okay, that explains about the displays itself. Now, there's a bunch of information that are built in, a bunch of apps that are built into Windows and browsers. Some of them are pretty primitive, but some of them work. There's always the print screen button. That's a button on the upper right-hand corner. Hit that, and it will save to your clipboard the information that it sees on the screen. Then you have to paste that in someplace. Now, one thing that is not well known, item 14, is the clipboard. Usually it can only handle one item at a time. And if you save another thing, it wipes out that first item. There is a way in Windows. I'm using Windows 10, but Windows 10 and 11, and it may have started back in Windows 7. I don't know for sure. You can turn on what's called clipboard history. You may have to search for it, but the note there tells you where that is, at least on my computer, where it is. It's in settings, display. Turn on the clipboard history, and it will save the last few clips that you've done, more than just one. And then instead of using the Control V to save the clip, that just saves the current one. Use a Windows V, and that opens up the block of all of them that you've saved in the last few of them, and then click on the one you want, and it pastes that one in. That's not well. I only discovered that 2 or 3 months ago, but it's a very handy tool to know about in Windows. So the clipboard can handle more than one and can remember more than one clip as to what you might have saved. And you may have saved it by using a screenshot, or you may have saved it by highlighting the text and then hitting Control V or something like that. But all of those are in a row, uh, but only for the last few that you've saved. There is also built into Windows this printing to PDF. That's in the print menu and allows you to print to a PDF file. Usually that works, but it also frequently changes the colors. So I've discovered. So if you want to save something that's colored and you use the print to PDF, you may not end up with the same colors that you had originally. You may need to use something else to do it, but it's built in. And I leave my computer set to the default printer is print to PDF, so that I don't inadvertently print hard copy of stuff that I did not intend to. There's the Windows snipping tool. It's primitive, but it does work. And there's how to use it and how to get into it. You can always save to HTML. That's this item number 17. HTML, that's computer jargon for, it stands for Hypertext Markup Language, which you didn't really need to know. But that's the format, the language that browsers use to show pictures. Like what you're looking at on the screen now is written in HTML. And you can save that by clicking someplace where there's a blank part on the screen, right click on it, and then go down to Save As, and then save it as I usually save it as an HTML file, a single file. There's 2 or 3 options in there. Then that will save just the HTML on your computer. So when you click on that file, it opens up your browser, whatever your default browser is. Mine is Chrome that I'm using here. And it shows it just as though you were on the internet, but it's coming only from your computer. So you don't have to be on the internet for it. Sometimes you might want to do that, sometimes not, but that saves the colors and everything else. Now, the next item down here is other screenshot programs. Now, these we'll take a look at in a little more depth here in a couple of minutes. There are some that are extensions or add-ons are with the browser. I'm using Chrome, and there's an add-on that Gerhard Roop found this one for us. It's called Go Full Page, all one word, GOFULLPAGE, Go Full Page. And we'll show you an example of using that here in just a second. That will capture the whole scrolling screen. Now, in fact, as a matter of fact, let's illustrate that right this minute. The details are in there as to where you have to install it as an extension in your Chrome, but it's and I think it probably is available in Edge and 2 or 3 other browsers as well. I'm going to go back up to the top of this page, right up to here, the top, and now I've got it set on here, so I've got that already in here. Let's see if I can find where it is. Let me click on it. I've got a piece of it up here. Is that, yeah, Go Full Page. I've just put a little icon up there. Watch what happens when I click that. I click on that, and it looks like, did you remember the old Pac-Man game? It gobbles up, and notice the screen is flipping, going through it. Now, what we'll see when we get done with this thing is it'll stop, click. There it is. It has saved that entire page of all of these notes in one big long file. Now, you notice up here at the top, there's the PDF. The down arrow means you can download the PDF. This one over here is download the image as a PNG file. Gerhard and I just discovered a few minutes ago not more than half an hour ago now, that this PNG file does better than the PDF file, or at least when we showed it. You can save that right off. It will save it where you give it, it's got a name, but you can add the name and edit it and save it right onto your computer. And then there's the whole thing, which you can then expand by rolling the mouse wheel, expand and read it, etc. So all you have to do is click that to save it. These other items up here are, well, one of these is edit. I've forgotten which one is the edit one. One of them is delete the image. One of them is there were different kinds of things up here. But that either the PNG or the PDF downloads it. When we downloaded the PDF, it kind of split a little bit of one of the lines of text. And it may have just been my reader that I was using that did it, but the PNG showed smoothly the whole thing. I won't take time to show that, but we actually saved it just a few minutes ago to try this out on there. Okay, so anyway, that's that. Now let me get back to where's my eyesight is getting so poor. I can let's see if I can. There we are. Now we're back to the notes. That was we just showed that we're down here in screenshot added screenshot programs. That was the extension. That was item 19. Go full page, and you have to install that, but it's free, and it probably works for other browsers as well. I'm using Chrome, and that's the only one I've used. But I bet I'll more than likely there's one for Edge and more than for Firefox and two or three other browsers as well. Here's another program called Fast Stone Capture. That's one that I've used for many years. I used they used to be free, and then after version, I think it was 5 something, they started running it as shareware or trialware, which means that you can try it out, the full version, you can download it and try it out, and you're on your honor to if you like it and you intend to use it, to pay them a small fee. I think it was something like $19 or $20, and I paid that probably at least 10 years ago. And so I can use all the updates for no charge. Every time they update it, I can download the update, and that includes it. And that is a program which will actually do scrolling screens as well as a bunch of other stuff. Now that program is it's a program that you download. It's not part of the browser. It's a separate program, and they update it every few months. They come out with a new version, and it's actually running on this computer. I think you can see the whole screen, but in the upper right-hand corner up here, there's a floating window, a floating thing that's got my the program running on there, and it has a bunch of different options. You can do just a screenshot of a rectangular area, or you can do a screenshot of some sort of or just the active window, or several other options in here. And one of them, there's a down arrow. My eyesight isn't good enough to see it without the magnifier on, and I don't want to turn that on because it might foul up the rest of the stuff. You hit that the one with the down arrow, and you start at the top, and it changes the screen, moves it down a step at a time, and keeps track of it, and does a screenshot of each one of the options as it goes. And then it says, what do you want to call this, and where do you want to save it? And I always save it. I put the date. I have it automatically put the date in international date format at the end of it, and then I just call it whatever it is. It says screenshot freeware or whatever the program happens to be, so that I can save it and I can find it later. We'll talk about labeling here in just another few minutes. That's this Fast Stone Capture. Fast Stone is all one word. And there are several other programs with Fast Stone Capture. There's an editor and a viewer, and I think there's 3 or 4 different programs that come with it. But I think it's the Fast Stone Capture that's the trialware or freeware program. And I've used that for probably at least 15 or more years now. And I used it free for a long time, and then I thought, this is so good. And in those days, it was one of the few programs that did the scrolling screen. I said I'll pay for it because it's worth it for me to be able to use that. So I've been using that for a long time. Now there's several other programs that are helpful on here, which I found, but some of them I haven't tried. The one that item 21 down here, Green Shot, there's the link to where you can download it. That's an open source program. Open source means that it's you can even get download the file, the program itself, the file, and you can edit it if you know enough about computer science stuff. You can edit it yourself so that it will work the way you want it to. Open source is by people who are willing to spend their time, and they'd like donations, but they don't. You don't get nags for donations. You never see a nag screen for it on there. But Greenshot is one that claims, and so I haven't tried it, but they claim that it will do scrolling windows. And on all of the articles and the lists I've seen, this one is listed now as really check rated, that people seem to like it. So I think it's probably a worthwhile screenshot program. Now, labeling screenshots. When you do a screenshot, one of the first things you need to do is label it in such a fashion that later you can find what's in it and that you can find it on your computer. If you can't, if you've got it but you don't know where it is, you're going to have a hard time finding it later. You need to save it somehow and name it in such a fashion that you can tell what's in it and where you got the thing, because so many things change on the internet on a regular basis. My labeling system is an example there on item 23 is an example. That's my dad, Eldon Stafford Snow. He was born in 1891 and he died in 1954. And what I've got there is an example of his school transcript when he was in the first graduating class of Dixie College, which was in St. George, Utah, in 1913. And I actually contacted Dixie College and had them find the old records of Dad's with the classes he had taken, and dig me out it took them a couple of months to go find the old records because they were on microfilm or something someplace stored. And but they found it and I got it. And so then once I got a hard copy, then I scanned it. And there's the date that I scanned it. Now notice that the date, the way I've written the date in there, both the date for when Dad graduated as well as when I scanned it, are written in international date format. That's explained in item 25. If you write dates in international date format, that's 4 digits for the year, then a dash, 2 digits for the month, dash, 2 digits for the day. When you alphabetize those, they alphabetize in chronological order. So it's not genealogy data, and if you're submitting information for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for temple work or something, you can't use this format. But other than that, I use this on a regular basis because, for example, if I have a letter collection, if you label the letters with who it's from and then the date that the letter was written in this format, you don't have to worry about alphabetizing them or putting them in chronological order. The computer does it for you. And so it saves you a lot of time. So later on, like I have Erastus Snow was my great grandfather. I have a collection of letters on the website that I showed you a minute ago of I think there's over 220 something letters that we've transcribed. My family and I have transcribed of original letters. We have a bunch more that we haven't done. But we write the dates in that international date format, and then they automatically jump to where they belong, and we don't have to worry about putting them in the right place because they jump right to where they belong. So I've been using that international date format for a long time. And you'll notice that in my example of my dad there on item 23, I've written both dates when he graduated from Dixie College, uh, and when I scanned that his transcript, I've written those in international date format, so they alphabetize completely. Yeah, with that idea, you can easily make a timeline of an individual by putting their name first and then the information on there. I put the dates, birth and death years in parentheses there, so I don't have to use junior or senior or unless that was really part of the name. And then it automatically I can tell who it's for, and it alphabetizes with them. So labeling is really important because then you can find it later on your computer. I've got a bunch of stuff before. You remember when we used to be able to only use 8 digits and then 3 digits for the extension? I got a bunch of old things that are on there, and every once in a while I find something new, and oh, here it is. And so then I label it with the with this information so that we can use more than just 8 characters, and then it'll show up. But I'm sure there's lots of stuff that's lost on my computers that until I come across it either by accident or by searching for all those old sorts of records, I won't be able to find them. Anyway, labeling is important. Now, here's some articles about screenshot programs. This Make Text Easier. That's a website I discovered, oh, within the last 6 or 8 months, that they send out nearly a daily letter, email, and frequently on there, there's information about what are current different sorts of programs that are available, or how do you do this, that, and the other thing for your computer. They frequently do for Windows, for Macs, and for Linux. And this article that I've referenced there is one where they came out just with it. Oh, it's not more than 2 or 3 weeks ago of new programs or feature-rich, 9 feature-rich programs for doing screenshots, and that they included that green shot program in there as well as some of the others. Some of them are pay and commercial programs, but that's an article that you may want to take a look at. And then there's another one there that's got a list of articles, a list of free screenshot programs that will help you, that you may want to download the information. And you can always just do a search on Google for what's happening with them. Just search for screenshot freeware or free screenshot programs or something of that nature. Or you can use AI, artificial intelligence, and get the list of the top 10 programs. I've been doing a series of classes on artificial intelligence. You may have noticed that if you've been with us for a little while. I've been interspersing those classes with these others. This is one that's between 2 classes of last month I did one on AI, and I'll do another one next month on AI. You can if once you get into AI, then you can ask it, give me the list of the best 5 free screenshot programs or whatever you want on there, and it works great to take care of it. On the conclusions here, screenshots are extremely useful, and since so many of the computer information, so much computer information online changes every year, that it's almost impossible to keep track of it. So if you see something you like, take a screenshot of it because it may not be there next week or next time you go back to it. You can't count on it being there, but label them so that you can find what's there and what's going on with it. And there are many useful programs that will help you. Now, that's the notes and the information and a good share of the class. Let me go back to the tab and get back to, whoops, let's see, I want Alt Tab. Go back to, here's that's the class notes. Here's the demos that we looked at some of these computer displays. We looked at some of the built-in programs, in particular the print screen tab plus other things. We looked at some freeware screenshot apps. In particular, we looked at that Go Full Page, and also the Windows or the Fast Stone Capture, and there's several others that are really good programs, and find something that works for you and stick with it, because once you get used to it, it really helps. And scrolling window screenshots are really important. And then we talked about labeling itself. So, as a quick summary, it's this, what we just talked about. Here's the list of the same things that we just discussed a minute ago. And so that gives you the general outline as to what's happening. All right. Now, that's been a pretty fast run through of a whole lot of good stuff. Do you have any questions or any comments? Or Gerhard, are there any questions or comments on Facebook? This is being broadcast on Facebook Live as well as on Zoom.
I haven't had any response yet to questions or comments on
Okay.
Facebook.
All right. Well, if you do later on, if you're watching this several months from now, there's my email address, snowd@math.byu.edu. I'm a retired professor of mathematics from Brigham Young University. I'll be glad to try and answer them if you just email me later on to see what's going on. So that's the class on screenshot freeware. And today's date is the 17th of April of 2024. And this is our UV tag, Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group. This is our weekday programs. We have a regular second Saturday of the month weekend program. And the weekend programs on second Saturdays are open to the public as well. And we publish a newsletter, wonderful newsletter that Marilyn Thompson is our newsletter editor, and she does a remarkable job. And sometimes that's 30 and 40 pages long with information on it. And if you're a member of the group, a membership per year is only $15. And they're on our UV tag page, there's a way that you can request a sample copy of the newsletter as well as join the group if you decide you'd like to. And we'd love to have you part of it. So that's the story for today. There's my notes, the link at the bottom of the page down there. And so I appreciate all of you folks listening today, and have a good afternoon.